so much, and for me, it has very special meaning because I knew Alex and I got to work with him a few times, and he was just as special as you probably all have come to see from all of this and whatever prior knowledge you have of him. And I also want to thank you and the Academy, David and everybody, Adele. This is a fantastic organization, and I've been a fan of it ever since Ron Jones got it going, and it's great to see you all here. So I'll start with a kind of oddball connection that I had to 2001, which I don't go around talking about it. But way back when, and Fisherman was being run by Richard Kraft, who's since become a major composing agent and represented Jerry Goldsmith. We were talking, we used to spend some time together, and I said, I have this really wacky idea. And he said, what's that? I said, you should do a series of recordings of discarded scores, rejected scores, and you should start with Alex North's 2001. Okay, fade in, fade out. It's a few years later, and Robert Townsend is now at Perez, and this thing then had legs. And so we have this wonderful recording that Jerry did of 2001, but it was sort of something that I had an idea about, and I can't say I took credit for any of it, but it makes me feel really related to it in a really wonderful way.
Yeah.
Synchronicity. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. He's smart. So, all right, here's the other story I'll leave you with, which is the one movie that I do remember working with Alex by title was Shoes of the Fisherman with Anthony Quinn. And the reason I remember it, we had 5 days booked at MGM and huge orchestra, and I walk in, and in the middle of the soundstage is what is called an Allen electronic pipe organ. So it's like a pipe organ. It has 5 manuals, has a full set of pedals, all the registration, but it's a portable organ. It's like, it was way ahead of its time in the sense of being an electronic version of something acoustic. I had a very small experience playing organs. I was told if you want to be a studio pianist, this was in the mid to late 60s, you need to be able to play a little bit of organ, and you need to play a few whole notes on the pedals and all this stuff. What I walked into was insane. I mean, the upper hand writing was like an octave in the sixth moving around like Brahms, and then the left hand had all this syncopated kind of arpeggiation, and the bass pedals were active. I mean, they needed a comprehensive pipe organist to play this. Whoever had this idea that I should be there was somebody who should have not had that idea. And the other problem was when we went to record, they would turn the lights of the studio down so that you could see the film. So I had to get a desk lamp and put it on the pedal so that I'm going like this to make sure I can get these feet going. I sweated bullets for 5 days. I kind of thought I got it covered, but it's one of those things where if someone said this really sucks, I wouldn't have argued with them. I didn't know. So when the whole thing was over and I was leaving, I said goodbye to Alex, who was the most wonderful, warm, likable person. So it's very hard for me to be negative, but I said, I have to ask you a question. I said, whatever possessed you to call me to play the role of a classical pipe organist? And he said, well, Michael, he says, you are a good musician, aren't you? And I said, well, I thought so until this week. And he said, you did just great. Thank you. So That's my story. Alex North was as wonderful as a humanist as he was as a music talent. And every moment I ever spent with him on other projects was always wonderful. And he was one of a kind.
Thank you.